So this is what I actually do for my job. So this is what I actually do for my job. I came in about 2 weeks ago and we removed the topsoil from this area and we put in some clay. And we also removed the topsoil and put in clay over here because this customer has this shed here and they're going to be putting another shed here for that RV over there. It's going to be parked here. So we did a nice turtle-backed clay pad. And today we're bringing in limestone. Unfortunately, it's been raining a lot, which good and bad. The good of it is it has helped pack the clay in. The bad is that it's been 2 weeks since I've been here and we're just now getting to finish up the job. One little thing to note is this spot right here is a little wet because it was holding a bit of water. This yard doesn't have much slope. And then this area over here, which all I did was kind of level it out. I didn't really remove any material, but this spot's holding some water because I removed sod and put some clay here, but I put a little too much. So if you notice, like underneath this, there's about a 1/2 inch there of a gap, and this deck is pretty level. And then right here in the middle, it's pretty much even with the ground. And then down here on this end, there's about 2 inches or so of space between the bottom and the ground. So there's about 2 inches of drop across here. So we got plenty of elevation difference to make this water flow. But I need to scrape a little bit of the clay out of here to get it to slope to this point. Then I need to put that clay over there to build that up. And we're gonna try to get the water to run across here off into this grass. I'm just gonna nick out a very shallow swell through here, really just removing the topsoil, because you can see where like all of this is a dam. When the water wells up, all of the leaves and small pieces of wood and twigs, they float until they reach the end of, like, you could say, the small pond. So this is the perimeter. This is where the water is having a hard time flowing beyond. So I'm going to nick out to this next little tree here and create a very shallow swell in this area. And hopefully I'll be able to get all this done before the limestone shows up. So we got our first load of limestone on site. This is a 18-wheeler load, so it's around 25 yards of material. And we're going to use this rock to fill in this hangout area. It drew me a nice line, so I'm going to try to keep it inside of that line. Well, we're all done spreading the limestone. So we have this nice parking area to the right of the existing shed. That's where the carport's gonna go for that camper over there. And then we also have all of this area here, which is going to be parking, area to access and turn around. We went ahead and put a fresh layer of limestone on all the existing driveway. And then you can see the slightly different colored rock in this area that is actually a smaller grade limestone. And this is going to be a hangout area. They're probably going to put a fire pit and some chairs over here. And it's going to be really nice, especially with this deck that they have. Well, I better get out of here. It's starting to rain on me. So I'll light this back up when I get home.